hello. I hope. I don't think anyone's on stream at the moment, so I can't ask if my mic is actually working or anything. I guess we'll find out when someone joins. That's fine. Let's see. Okay. I haven't done this in so long. I can't remember what's happening. I am trying out the mic I've been using for recording my latest videos. Hopefully that's working on the stream. If anything goes wrong, we can swap back to the other mic. A lot of my stream settings had reset, so I don't know, I've got my fingers crossed. Also, I can't hear my music, even though I think I should be able to, so I'm hoping there's a little bit of music and that it's not too loud. Let's see how it goes. Anyway, so welcome back if you're coming back. Mike is okay, thank you so much. You don't show up in analytics. Video is good too, thank you so much. Is it just.l2f? Thank you. I'm also hoping that I've got a fan heater on right next to me. I've got noise cancelling on. I'm hoping you guys can't hear the fan, fingers crossed. If you can, I will just turn it off, but it's fairly cold in this room. What else? So, over the last few streams, of which there's been a massive break between, we have been building a job tracking app because I had been looking for a job and I'd been fed up of writing everything into Google Docs and Google Spreadsheets. Hi, OK Alarm. Anyway, I have now found a job on which I'm starting on Monday, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that goes well. But I want to finish off the job tracking app because I know that right now is not great to be looking for a job. A lot of people are looking for jobs right now, and I just want to get it out there. So we're building it with Rust, obviously, and a framework called Dioxus, which is a it's kind of like React and Electron, except just better in absolutely every single way, except that it's not stable yet. So we'll come to that later in the stream, I think, because they recently released, they went from 0.6 to 0.7. So I think that is going to be something we can look at in the stream. I am going to monetize the app. I want to make sure I always say that at the beginning of the stream so that people are aware that it's an open source app, but if people contribute to it, I don't want them to feel bad that I'm, asking people for money for it later on. It will be free for people to use with an optional, hey, if you did get a job and you would like to contribute back, that would be awesome, but no pressure to anyone. That's the route I'm sort of taking it down. I certainly would not charge for a job tracking app when there's so many people who are not working. That just feels very sleazy. Then, OK Alarm. I built something with Tauri. I will do the same for Dioxus 0.7 to compare the experience. That's really interesting. So I haven't used Tauri directly. I think Tauri might be somewhere in the Dioxus stack, but I'm not 100% sure, actually. I think we talked about this previously when I was trying to work out how to do keyboard inputs. But I've never used Tauri directly. I think that's really cool. It feels like GUIs are kind of the last frontier for Rust because Rust is so good at everything, but not quite GUIs yet. But there are so many people doing awesome frameworks and things, and it feels like we're getting closer all the time. So very excited. Definitely, if you happen to be in the Discord, go share it there because I would love to see what you're working on. Anyway, channel update. So I recently passed a nice little line on my YouTube stats, so I can now the channel is now sort of monetized. I don't get any ad revenue money, but I now have the ability to have channel members. So if you're interested in joining as a channel member, it's roughly the same as the Patreon. I brought the Patreon down in price to match what I decided should be for YouTube. I decided to take it a bit more seriously. Historically, I've always priced my Patreon to be sort of discouraging. That didn't stop someone, but I thought I'd make it a little bit more in line with what other people are doing. Now that YouTube's a bit more sort of you cannot change the price of it, even downwards. So I thought I'd better set it at a price I'm more happy with. So there's a £1 and a £5 level. You don't have to use it, really you don't. It also lets me have super chats and stuff, but as you can probably already tell, there's never going to be enough people chatting in the chat for me to miss what you want to tell me. and I do try to respond to everyone in the chat. So I don't know, maybe in the future when there's hundreds of people in the chat, maybe it'll be worth it. I don't think so. Anyway, what else? I plan on adding shopping to the channel. A long time ago I made these like sweatshirts or like hoodies to test out, and gave some to people who'd really helped me build the channel. So I'm probably going to try and do like a run of these with, well, these have got the old, I'm not going to show you, they have the old channel name on the back, so I'll need to update that, and then they might appear on the YouTube website. I don't know if people will be interested in that. It's fine if they're not. Dioxus desktop apps use Tari's bundler, Tari macOS packaging, Tari's signing, notarization. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, oh my god, like 2 decades ago, I wrote my very first iPhone app. I would have been 20. Okay, not quite 2 decades. I would have been 23 probably when it happened. Very nearly 2 decades. And honestly, I was like learning how to build iPhone apps. I was following a guide in a book. I made like a little breakout clone, added in some like extra stuff that I thought was cool. Like it would tell you where your friends had scored on it, so you could try and beat their game. It took me like a week to make that app. And I thought, oh, only took a week. Might as well just stick it on the App Store, put it up for free. Doesn't really matter. It'll just be a bit of experience, right? It took me 6 weeks to work out how to put it in the App Store. After getting the app completed in 1 week, it took 6 weeks to get it into the App Store because of the signing bit, which again, two decades ago I was terrible at. But it's nice, yeah. Reusing that stuff is really cool. Other news: Rust Nation's coming up in 3 months, and I'll be there. So if anyone's in the UK and going to Rust Nation, say hi. That'd be really nice. And then last bit of news prior to this stream starting properly, it's going to be a shorter stream. Like I rushed this one out. I wasn't actually even planning on being in tonight. I had plans to be out, and then they sort of fell through. So now I thought I'd do a stream because it's been a while and I wanted to get back into it again. Obviously with Iris having finished, very, very happy that we managed to get through that. And now moving on to space and trying to work out where the channel goes next, especially with like the change in monetization stuff. So I wanted to bring the streams back because I did really enjoy them. I really enjoy chatting to everyone here and stuff. It's really nice. So on to the stream itself. Now, we probably won't actually be doing very much Rust today. The main thing is I started looking at this today. Let me load up. Why did I have this open? So let me switch to, oh yeah, okay, sorry, I'll show you what I was looking at. So Dioxus 0.7 has come out. We will get to this hopefully later in the stream. It's probably going to be a shorter stream. I don't plan on running it longer than 2 hours. I don't know how that's a shorter stream. So we'll see where we get to with upgrading to 0.7. But one of the cool things is the much promised Blitz renderer has come out, which is quite exciting. That should make it even faster. Not that it matters for this application, but for people who care about the speed of it, it's going to be even faster. So I was having a quick flick through at the changes to see if there's anything that we need to care about when we upgrade. I couldn't see anything in this list that's sort of like, you need to be conscious of these things when you're upgrading it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when we do it. But that's going to be the last thing. Prior to that, I have these sort of, okay, so the app is in a pretty good place. It's ugly. I'm man enough to admit that it's ugly. Let me get this up. I will probably have to zoom in a little bit, I think. Can I zoom in like this? No, what's going on here? Let's try that. So, here we go. Oh, it says it's running. Why is the icon not showing? Interesting. Okay, so if I get a little desktop up and drag this over, there we go. Okay, so here it is. It's the if you've been on the stream before, you'll have seen it before. We've got a list of companies you're applying to, the roles. If you sort of select different ones, it will... Oops, don't know what happened. Oh, hello. Huh. That's not supposed to happen. Let's just close it and reopen it and see what happens. We'll do a rebuild and open. And we'll click on new from partial. Okay, so now it's working. So for each company, you get your little roles down here, what you've currently applied to. So let's say this was Amazon. You've applied to like 5 different positions. Well, okay, I think we found our first little bug there. Oh, I thought this was in a much better position than this. That's odd. Okay, so you'd probably update your server FNs. I am not using any, so I think that's probably okay. So for anyone who doesn't know sorry, Just Dot says you'd probably just update your server FNs, which are, Dioxus has this cool like feature where you can have server functions where you can just call from your front end application to a server using a server function. Correct me if I'm wrong about this. It's really nice the way that it works. It's far simpler than having to think about things like how JSON APIs might work. If you have built your backend and your front end in Dioxus, then those things will work together absolutely beautifully and you don't have to worry about it. We're not using that because we're doing it all sort of desktop, so I don't think we have any server functions. I was thinking about this for another project though, which might be the project to come after this. Reveal now? I think I probably already talked about it. I can't find any good, like really good, what are they called? Teleprompts. I was using Elgato's teleprompt, having stolen my partner's Elgato teleprompt viewer thing. Sorry, it's the software that I want to rebuild. So I've got right here, the reason I'm able to look right at you guys while I'm talking and see the chat and stuff is because there is a little screen in front of me that's with a little mirror in front of it and then a camera behind that. Excellent. Hardware is brilliant. The software is not very usable. I think, in my opinion, they've sort of focused maybe on the wrong things. And one thing that bugs me is it doesn't matter what I put it on. The voice tracking just does not work. So I can either put it on like auto track or I can manually do it, but it's not a very good experience. So since switching to filming right here, I've actually just switched to having my scripts are always in like MDBook, which it's hidden, but it is technically available online. It's all in the GitHub repository, so you can actually see scripts as they're being formed and early and stuff. But I've just been using that, and then I've been using like a little macro board. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't. It's got like a little wheel on it, and that lets me sort of scroll through sort of without showing that I'm holding it. It's all... Anyway, in the future, I would like to do a teleprompt that would require server FN because I'd like to have multiple windows open so you can see one window that is what you're reading and one window that is all your controls, but that's just very far future thinking. Rambled on a lot there. So, we've already spotted a bug. Let's go back to our issue. So let's just create a new issue for now. Editing names of companies does not... actually, editing makes the company disappear, right? So what I wanted to do today is basically just work through some of these because I know that some of these issues are closed. For example, this don't use create shortcut was closed in issue... Let's have a look, go back to pull requests. This was back when I was trying to do the... so let me go to the app. If I go to a role and then hold down Alt, you see that some little buttons appear. So I can switch between like company details, role details by just pressing buttons. That was originally done with create shortcut, which is not a good way of doing it. Even Dioxus recommend against using it. It's like deeply nested into... I think it may actually be be one of the things that comes from Towery, not 100% sure. Anyway, I'm pretty sure we closed it with this one, better keyboard events. So we can close off this issue. And I just want to like clear up the issues, try and remember what I was doing, how I was doing it, and then find a load of issues that I think are going to be the sort of like the things that get us to a proper MVP that I can just sort of put it out there and stop worrying quite so much. That does mean that we're probably never going to get around to some of them. There has been some good suggestions. You'll probably see one in a second, but it probably means I'm probably never going to be able to do those. Anyway, close that one. So for example, Konami codes, I guess. I think there's a suggestion from someone on stream. I do know who it was. I'm just not going to use their name unless they're in here and want to take credit again. It's a great idea. I think it would require me to change the way that I'm thinking about data working internally. So at the moment, everything's sort of like you do a thing and something happens. The Konami code is you do multiple things, and then if those things happen in the right order, something would happen. And I was when I came back to this project today to have a very quick look, I was halfway through trying to re-implement the way that events work inside of the application, and I decided, it was very early on, but I decided it probably wasn't worth pursuing for now, and they should just focus on the things that people would actually like to use in the thing. I'm going to leave the issue here. I'm going to create a new label. Let's just check there's no good ones. Okay, so let's call this a MVP blocker. Create a new label. Is there any way to change the color? Who knows? Edit. Maybe. I would like that to be red because it's pretty serious. No, didn't disappear. Here we go. Edit. That's just going to be okay. Oh, there we go. Cool. Perfect. Red. Can't release until this is dealt with. There we go. So yeah, that's basically my plan for this stream. And I would just, also really like to chat to people and things. So this could actually be related. Reactivity is broken in older versions, is being fixed in 60. That's closed. Add values interviews, questions to UI. After that's merged, we can update the old ones. I'm going to close this, closed as not sure what else was needed. There is definitely something still wrong with the reactivity part of it. We're obviously not responding to changes in the underlying data properly. Let's quickly chat through that. Sorry, that's my notes for the stream, if anyone's wondering. Make sure I get through all the points I want to get through. So, in our application, has this got it? That's our errors. So this is sort of how we deal with changing the application context. And maybe this is causing the problem, but it allows us to do things. So like when we click on a company, then it's going to use the set company context changer thing here. You'll notice as well that this takes ownership and returns a new version of itself. So this is designed to be immutable and replace itself each time it changes. Can't remember why I did that. I'm sure there's a good reason. Inside of, don't care about build, inside of desktop, main probably. In here, we have sort of like different contexts being added. The application context is being used as a, basically like a signal. So we should be able to find this being pulled out of signals somewhere. So for example, here we go. Here's the application context being used in what components is this list, company list item. So this will literally be that thing I just showed. There'll be the items here. And we are, we're using that to get the company, and then probably on click. Having some jitters, I don't know. Sorry if that's coming across on stream. In the form receiver, what are we doing with this? So it's a signal, it takes an option, it takes an event, it takes some form data. So form receiver here. Interesting, this doesn't change the context. I mean, that could be the actual problem, of course. Anyway, I'm getting too deep into the weeds because I'm not planning on solving this right now. Source company is company. Modify with form data. Result is okay. Sets navigate.push home company ID. I think this is probably the reason that it's not working. I probably need to reset the company. If I go back to the application context here, set company takes an entire company. I'm almost going to guarantee that the fix for this is basically just going to be something like context.setCompany. Oh, why is this not... So I think Macs are a bit funny about sharing screens. That is completely frozen. Let's try quitting. Nope, won't quit either. I'm still here. Let's try in here. So that was application context, you can see it right here. Sorry. Why? That's weird. So set company. Oh shoot, it wasn't application context, was it? It was like company list item. This one, maybe? Nope, that's the company list. List item is here. Oh, maybe it was the list, actually. Far too easily distracted, I think. I reckon it's going to be here. Context. You know what? Let's not do it right now. Let's not do it. I know, sorry. It's very, very tempting to get lost in the weeds of that. So we've got an issue for it. We can deal with it later. So investigate inconsistent use of global signals. That one's still technically true, but probably not a blocker for releasing the MVP. Validate storables on creation. I think we do this already. I think this was fixed. So this is another one where I think that we actually did fix this with what we did was... Is this completely frozen? Wow. Can't. There we go, force quit. Try bringing that back. I have had this issue when sharing my screen in the past. Okay. That's odd. Try that again. Weird. Weird. Oh. I do not know. Let's try putting it just here like this. And we were in... What was I trying to do? Oh, so... Sorry. Okay, yes, that was what I was talking about. So when we create new things, let's reopen the application. Hopefully it'll open here. Where are you gone? There we go. Okay. When we create a new one, let's say we create a interview. That's probably got a few more details. No, it doesn't. Questions. Okay, so we've got like a couple of things that we can add into here. I think this is supposed to be question and answer. The UI is obviously not finished for this. And so there's some validation. So you shouldn't be able to submit it with nothing in there. You'll see this comes up. This is another thing that kind of needs fixing, just making it look nicer. We will come back to that, but we definitely have validation on it. And the way that we do it, I know this caused some controversy when I did it. I'm sticking with it for now because it works. I do appreciate where the other person was coming from, which is that it's not concise enough, or not a close enough match, I guess. If I go into, so what were we talking about? Questions. These are storable objects. So here's our question. And then in here we have partial. So we derive a partial of this object. And when it is when the partial is created, it ignores ID and role, but we want partials for name, answer, and date deleted. And then where did we do it? New from partial here returns a result because it gives you the partial, and then it validates whether the partial was in an acceptable state. So name has to be set, which is why we get that field error of name, which if I go back to the app, we'll see down here. Partial was incomplete, name is missing. That's a terrible error message and needs fixing. But this is done. So let's just see where we fixed that. Gosh, there are a lot of PRs. I think it was more recently than this. So I think don't be as disorganized as me when you're making your programs, and actually stay on top of your PRs and issues and things. Better errors might be it. Easier to find things. Move application context. Allow timestamps from all the date formats. It was definitely after that. I don't know what that was. What was that? Oh, yeah. I think that Rust format and Clippy used to be part of the Rust package, GitHub CI action for Rust used to include format and Clippy, and then suddenly it didn't, which broke all of my workflows. E6 guard lifetime ambiguity, better errors. It's probably this one, to be honest. Let's have a look. Files changed 26. That is far too many files to be changed. If we go find... Oh, it's not. No, this is just... it is not that. Oh, I should actually be able to find it from here, right? So if I do git blame, it was this commit, which is on what branch? Restructure UI. I think we saw that a second ago. Restructure UI, so it's close by this one. There we go. Easy peasy. 74. Use reset enum for publishing routes. So this should move the view URL parameter to being a path. I think this is done as well. So this one's an easy one to find. So in the UI, again, because Dioxus is really for, like, it's a web renderer, so it still thinks in terms of pages, which is actually very useful when you want to abuse exactly that. If we go to, is it in here? May not be. Oh, here's the router. So if we have another look, it looks like view might still be the last thing. So use router enum for pushing routes. Okay, so that's not done. But it also doesn't need to be done for MVP, probably. It would be really nice to tidy this up. So that there is definitely an issue with the fact that this is just kind of a mess, and I don't like this at all. Everything sort of goes to this home thing. Basically, everything here is within home. We have like support and help up here, which are just not ready for anything. Don't need you anymore. Go away. Does that still stay there? Anyway. Let's clean that up as well. Okay, sorry. Let's go back to issues. Want to create a new issue. make logs. What was it? Sorry, it was help, right? That is help. Logs nicer for users to use. Things to consider. Consider. Don't just list JSON, render timestamp and message, filter by severity. We make the current error pop up much nicer. Maybe move to a notification style pop-up. I've seen this in quite a lot of software that I'm using lately, where you get a little error and it just sort of pops up like it's a notification from your OS or whatever. Total aside, I recently installed Bazite, and I've been using it for all of about 5 minutes, and I already love it. Except for the fact I couldn't run any updates on it, and I will work that out later. But that was my sort of like fun experiment today, was can I install that on a really old gaming laptop? Let's create that for now. This is going to be an MVP blocker, so let's stick that on. Back to issues. That's still okay. So we think that's still a deal. That's still an issue, but it's not a MVP issue. This wait, didn't we add the? Oh, I guess I probably went to edit instead of. Okay. Create details nav component. What on earth is this? Let's figure this out. Yeah, okay. So did I not do that? That's interesting. So I think what I'm going on about here is just that we don't have a navigation component for that. So, sorry. Need to really explain myself on a stream. I think it's this bit here, right? The company details, role details, interview details, and questions. There might not be a specific navigation component for that. So we've got our nav bar. That should be the main nav, I think. That is obviously not. How does any of this work? And this is a big part of why I was doing this. I wanted to do this on stream. Layout. So here's the nav bar with our 3 top links. I'm just going to get a bit frustrating. So that's those 3 here. And then if we go into home, no, it's going to be views home mod. And then in here, we've got our company list, role list details. I don't know why those aren't clicking through. Hey, Chris. Facecam went off, you're right. Oh, no. I'm going to bet the camera overheated. Because we have seen that before. 1 second then. It is indeed a Sony. I seem to be back. I don't know. If it said overheating on the stream before I disappeared, then that's what happened. I've turned my heater off in case that's impacted it. Oh well. Yes, I would like to buy... again, to be fair, I stole this camera off my partner, who also has a YouTube channel that is much better than mine, so plug to her. Go see the Curious Library. There's a setting in the menu to control what happens with respect to overheating. Okay, I will go have a look at that. Yeah, I have like my ultimate camera that I would like to buy that's overkill for what I want to do. It's like not that overkill as far as cameras go. It's overkill for me standing here and talking to it. But I don't think I'm going to be buying that anytime soon because it would cost too much to justify. Anyway, if anyone else has any good, it's not an FX3. The FX3 I think is what one of my friends keeps recommending I buy. It's actually the I would really love the Blackmagic Pixel 6K or the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K full frame. Both vastly overkill. I don't need 6K obviously, and I don't need 12-bit depth or anything like that. I don't even really need full frame, do I? But it's just like my little dream. Anyway, we are back. Let me get back to the code and try and remember which buttons are which on my thing. This is the other thing about me not having streamed for a while. If I just sort of like disappear off screen, it's probably because I pushed the wrong button. Because when I'm recording, I've got like a different OBS. Yes, they do look funny. Also, really like the one thing everyone hates about the Pocket Cinema is it's got a plastic frame and like is basically open to air because it requires a lot of cooling, I imagine. And so it's like really not suitable for taking out, which is kind of like the form factor they've designed is for like taking out and having with you when you're on holiday or whatever for your super snaps and your super videos while you're traveling around. And if you drop it, it's gone. Like, anyway. Yes, since I started filming in this location, my buttons have all moved around, so I need to try and remember which buttons are which again. Right, where were we? So we were trying to work out, we've got the details view. If I jump over to details, why is this red? Unresolved crate details. I think there's something wrong with my... I think there might just be something up with this. Are we on the current version? I think we are. Debugging on stream, things that shouldn't need debugging. Try. Oops. Yeah, I was pretty sure we're up to date. Weird. I don't know what's going on with IntelliJ. I could tell it to reset. Let's ignore it for now. We know how to do this manually, and I'll reset it a bit later. Details. Huh. Am I in the wrong place? No. Pretty sure it's just this. That's weird. Company details. So these are the different views. I think that might be already fixed then. Oh, no, sorry, not. Yeah, wait. What? Something else do that. In a details view, that's because I'm looking at the wrong thing. Shortcut helper. This is the details navigation. Okay, yeah, so this still needs extracting. I'll leave the issue open, but it's not going to block us from doing the MVP. It's just garbage code. This is the danger of me doing Rust code on a stream is that, you know, on my videos, I probably, hopefully give the impression that I know what I'm doing, and then people see me on stream like, what is this guy doing? Join to get all the things from the database at once. That's almost certainly true. It must be one of these comments again. Not... Yeah, it's this one. So in home, if I remember rightly, home is kind of like when you land on the page, it sort of like treats it like it's a URL. Can I see? Yeah, be this one. Let's get rid of this. Sorry, I'll make it big again. Presentation. This might slow down and crash again. We'll see what happens. Anyway, let's close that as well. I don't need that. In here, yes, it's this thing here. So basically, you know what? Is it going to be a select? Doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. So what we're trying to do here is basically the context holds information about what is currently selected, which is sort of built up from the URL of what is currently being viewed. And so we're trying to basically pull from the database those particular things. The database is loaded up when you start the application, and then it all just sort of sits in memory, which may be its own problem in the future if you have to apply to a lot of things, which I certainly did. I'm curious as to what point it would become a problem. Probably overthinking it. Anyway, these things, it would be nice if it just did it with a join. Again, it's fast enough that it's not a blocker. I'm not going to worry about it too much. So we will leave that. What I probably should do is actually just put a comment in these. This refers to the home view loading context information from the database sequentially. Comment and back to here. What was the other one? The reuse. That's fine. That is explained. It was details nav currently lives in details view file, should just extract it. Comment. Gives me a bit more information. Log files get large. This probably is a blocker actually. If you have a lot of errors, everyone gets saved to a file. Let's see if I go here, should be able to load up the location. Yes, okay. So it just stores it to a JSON file. That's odd. Sorry, that's an anachronism, or no, it's just a weird, that shouldn't be there anymore because that referred. So I did previously try using libsql for databases. They're actually stored in here now, so you get a bunch of JSON files. And then the log files are also stored as JSON files, but they get really big. I think I set it to store them individually, which saves any individual log file from getting big, which was causing me problems reading the file. Which I don't think it should have, but I didn't look too much into. They should now be stored by date. Let's have a look. I believe it's in desktop, source, main. And then we create the log fetcher is not what we care about. I don't think it's the stores log fetcher. Maybe it is the log fetcher. We'll get a log store. No, I don't think it's that at all. It's... That's odd. I have no idea. Logs. Configure logging. I must be running it somewhere. Just going to look at that. Just make sure I am. Yeah, logs.configure logging. Just being very silly. So this just writes to log files, and it is in fact just creating a log.log, which is bad because when this was hitting about 600 megabytes in the early days of working on this, when there were a lot of errors, it would fail to read the file and just freeze the entire program, with the fact that not only can you not see the logs inside the program if the program hasn't loaded, the actual path to the logs is also something insane. I don't know if I can get info. No idea. No idea what the full path of it is. It's something ridiculous. It's like, sorry, the only reason I'm not jumping, I know you can do like command up to sort of jump up in the view, but obviously that'll show all of my files and folders, which I'm not keen on doing. So yeah, could use some improvements here. One thing I could do is maybe just like put a date in or something and maybe delete the previous one each time it starts. That would probably be good enough. Should have named it hyper.log.log. Yeah. Yeah, we'll work something out. Could delete old log on startup. It's probably fine. We could, what else could we do? I think for just like a really simple app, that's probably fine. Like, this is more about me debugging it than anyone else. I think I just need to rethink the UI around this because this just isn't what a user needs to see. It's what I need to see while developing it. And I mean, obviously it'd be good if there are problems and someone needs to report an issue with it, having the logs would be really useful. I just need to work out what I'm doing there. So, okay, so that's through the list. I think this is, yeah, we've already marked this as an MVP blocker. So we've got 3. Let's get consistency. These ones are like just really bad code that I ought to sort out, but are not actual blockers. Pull requests. We will come to this in a minute. Deal with that in a second. So then the other thing is, like, what else do I need to do? I mean, it looks like but. And I think the only way I'm getting around that is if I just pay someone to help me make a design, which I think is probably the way I'm going to go for that. So I'm going to create an issue for that, and then I'll work out how I'm going to afford that. My design skills are atrocious. I think you guys have seen my work on like Theo's Quest's website. Is it theosquest.com? Nope, clearly not. theosquest.com. There we go. I'm not a good designer. Someone had to help me fix these as well. Like even the buttons at the bottom are a mess. I can do a pretty good job when I'm stealing someone else's, though. I'm pretty happy with this. But yeah, I can implement someone else's design pretty well. I just can't. I have no design skills whatsoever. So, pay someone to redesign everything. This would include, what do we call it? With the little boxes, the grey boxes. Scaffolding? Not scaffolding. Wireframes. Layout. Colors. Image size, because that's far too large at the moment. I'm very proud of my little logo, but it doesn't need to be that big. Oh, I know some other ones actually. So you can't see on this because obviously I'm on Mac. On Windows, it looks even worse. So let's create a separate issue for this. On Windows, we still get the menu. Because I haven't been developing on Windows, I have not seen it. But I'm guessing it's probably basically the same as this. So you see this. This is not what we need here. I don't know. I mean, edit, sure, those bits maybe, but writing tools? I don't even know what that is. So I should probably look at like what I need to actually manage this. And on Windows, it actually shows under the title bar. I mean, to be honest, I'm a big fan of, does anyone remember like the good old days of Windows Media Player when you could sort of design your own layouts for the actual media player and stuff like that? I built some stupid ones. But it was a lot of fun, and one of the cool things was they could be any shape and it didn't need to have this title bar at the top. I am pretty confident that Dioxus does allow you to get away with that, so it would be really nice to maybe just get rid of this and maybe just have like a little X in the corner, because what else do you need? I mean, do you need it to be a big screen? I don't know. Resizable, sure, but it's one to think about anyway. So, new issue. What was I talking about? Get rid of the menu bar on Windows. Also check Linux. So it does work on Linux. I was really happy to find out. I picked up, is it here? Not on my desk. I've got like a tiny little 8-inch laptop. I wouldn't recommend it. I did not have the best experience with the people who sold it to me, but the laptop itself has been working really nicely. I stuck Linux Mint on it and have been using that to take around with it because it was like 300 quid. So I was basically thinking, while I'm not working, if I'm traveling around with my laptop, my Mac, I would not like to lose that. So I ended up buying like about as cheap as I could, tiny laptop, weighs virtually nothing, has a touchscreen on it, which my Mac does not. And I just, yeah, Linux Mint. It's pretty good, not amazing. I do have my issues with it. But one thing that I found out is that I can run and compile the job tracker on it with like no extra effort, which I was very surprised about. Which brings me on to the last couple of issues. So first of all, labels, MVP blocker. Can I bring this up to the top in any way? Does not look like I can rearrange them. I wonder. BD, yeah, they're in alphabetical order. That makes sense. Oh, in that case, I could edit. Probably this. No? Oh. Maybe? Yeah, there we go. Since that's the one that matters to me at the moment. So, last issue is we need to... There's a couple more things that I think are really interesting to look into. Not going to look into them today. One is I really want to find a way to have auto update on the application itself. So when people inevitably find bugs in it, I can create a update on here, have it automatically roll out on a release. Now I did see Rust replace binary. I think I found here we go, self-replace. So here, this basically oh, sorry. Okay, well, we'll come to that problem when we get there. This would allow us to basically download a new version of the application when we see a new release from GitHub. So what we could do is have something like just ask the GitHub API, is there a new version of this? If there is, download it and replace itself. And I don't know how much stuff we need to replace because it's not just going to be the binary. Anyway, we'll look into it. So auto update. This is definitely a MVP blocker because once we've got this in, like other things that are less serious can easily be added in and people will get them. So look at this crate. Work out how to download new releases and update self. Now, there is another thing tangentially related, which is we want to have a continuous release pipeline type thing. So at the moment, you can download the source code, but I don't currently have releases set up. And what I'd like to be able to do is have an actual installer created whenever there is a proper release. So that's another thing that I want to look at. So let's add this as well. And that I definitely think would be, a more interesting stream than this one in the future, where I'll just have a look at like how do we package for, how do we build for and test for Windows, Mac, and Linux? How do we package for those systems? And I think Linux in particular is going to be a really interesting one because there seems to be about 25 different ways of installing applications onto Linux. Oh, and this is one downside of my new Linux Mint system is I do have Linux. I have yeah. How do I? Why are you doing that? That's weird. Anyway, I do have Helix and Zellige on my Linux Mint system, but Helix is way out of date because the version that is in the Linux Mint repositories is out of date. So my Mac version is newer than my Linux Mint one, which is really weird. So I probably don't want it to be a repository-based installer, but then obviously, like, some people are just going to prefer that. Then we've also got things like, are they called STAPs on Ubuntu, which I think are like baby containers or something silly. Haven't really looked into them, but yeah, that will be interesting nonetheless. Add release workflow. What am I going to call this? GitHub workflow that builds, tests, and packages for supported systems. Okay. I don't know if there's anything to add to the description here beyond the title. I'm going to leave it as this. And again, MVP blocker. Great, great. And I think that's it. Can we think of anything else? Anyone got any suggestions for things that are missing other than the fact that this looks like but? I can't think of any features that I need to add once everything is sort of working. Oh, actually, yes, there is one other thing. So at the moment, and I'm not clicking on it because I don't want to, like, it should be fine, actually. So I have this support page. As I mentioned, I would like to allow people to give me money for it. I do not want anyone who is not working to provide me any money, which is why there's this big warning at the top. So the way I phrased that is like, if you are a broken person, like me. Anyway, at the moment, it's just sort of like you can put money in these places. I have set up a Ko-fi, but I don't think I want to use it. Another option I've been looking at is polar.sh. So for the Ko-fi thing, it's more like you can provide like a little donation. If I were to go with, sorry, I'm sort of covering that up a little bit. Let's drop it down here. If I were to go with polar.sh, it would be an actual sort of monetization thing. It would be a sale. And then it sort of gets into the realms of like having to deal with things like VAT. And VAT is really weird because you have to pay it in the country that people are buying things in, particularly for digital goods. So if you're shipping something, I think you kind of like don't have to care. You just declare that there should be VAT on it and let them worry about it at the other end. I have a soldering iron coming from the US, I think, and I'm going to have to pay customs on it because they did not do it at sale. Anyway, for selling digital goods, pretty sure I'd have to put VAT on it. This is why I'm looking at polar.sh, a cursory sort of look at different sort of sales channels suggests that this one helps deal with that sort of VAT issue for me. Better than a lot of others, and it's not too expensive. And apparently the APIs are really, really good. Again, I think they may even just have libraries for supporting a bunch of stuff. Well, we've got 13 adapters. I'm going to guess that there is not one written in Rust, unfortunately, yet. There's not one written in Rust yet. Still, there we go. TypeScript, Python, PHP, and Go. So it looks like it's really nice to use. It might be one to think about. It's not a blocker. Anyway, like I'd rather just get the thing out there, even if people have no way of giving me money. I just would like, if it's useful to people, then, you know. So I need to decide what I'm doing with that. Work out a monetization plan. Is that an issue? It is because it's sort of sitting there. Work out monetization implementation. It probably wants me to spell it in English, doesn't it? There we go. English, I mean. Yeah, proper English. Hi, America. So options, donate on Patreon, Ko-fi. This one's the minimum amount of work, like say it's technically already set up. Buy via polar.sh, other. And then integrates into support page. Okay, right. Now we're going to do the hard thing. And we are sort of already set up for this. We have got our little branch, Dioxus 0.7. Let's see what happens, I guess. So, just already, and apologies if I'm mispronouncing how that should be, already mentioned that this should be fine if we don't have any server functions, which I don't think we do. Let's have a look. Cargo outdated, I think should tell us. Okay, I don't think... actually, let's go... Is it? That's... okay. Oh, that's handy. Control G is lock, and then I can't change the things, which means... no, input's still a bit weird. Doesn't matter. I've been having issues with the fact that on a lot of machines, Alt and then left and right should be like jump a whole word at a time. Which obviously, if you're in the terminal and you're typing in multiple, your command and then some input to that command, and you realize, oh, I have to go back and change the command or something at the beginning. Having Alt and then jumping multiple words at a time is really handy. Yes, I know that some shells support Vim bindings. Yeah. I think I've just been making a real mess out of my terminal lately. I've switched from what was iTerm originally, then I went to Warp. I've been using Kitty on my Linux machine. I switched to WesTerm on here, largely just so that I could use Zelige and Helix together. For some reason, just different combinations did not work. Anyway, what I want to do is have a look. Why have we got changes? Git status. What did I change? Git diff. Git restore. Sure. Git status. No, I don't need to see that. So cargo update. I think, is this just going to update everything? Oh, I need to stop. It won't update. Yeah, so it's going to not try to move to the latest. For, what's it called? Semantic versioning. For semantic versioning, the first number is a breaking change, normally. One thing that Rust is still really bad for, or the Rust community, that's all of us, is everything, and you can even see it on here, like it's not even a joke, everything is 0 point something. People are very shy about stabilizing their APIs. I mean, even with Dioxus, we're going to 0.7. It's kind of funny. It's not the end of the world because I don't think Semver in the specification says what should happen with pre-stable versioning, but the Rust cargo treats the minor version as breaking changes if it's pre-release. So all of these are fine, but it won't have updated Dioxus because we are going up a minor version pre-release. So that means we need to go to our cargo.toml, change this to 7. I suppose we might as well change to 7.1. I don't know. Dioxus equals, and I think we might just, oh no, we're okay, cool. Nice, okay. I really love workspaces, and I never sit down and really think about them too much. But the fact that I can put in my top level that I'm using this version, and then underneath set the features on it is wonderful. Right, we'll need to. I don't think we want that happening. I think there's also a self update for Dioxus. I think. Maybe not. Maybe there isn't. DX version. I can just do -V. Oh, -V. Okay, so I probably want to reinstall Dioxus command line. Dioxus. Right. Oh my word. Dioxus. Yeah. Oh, that's not what I wanted anyway. Right. I think it's DXCLI, but I can't remember the exact Dioxus CLI. I shouldn't need to force it because it's a newer version. And I don't remember if I use binstall or install. It should be fine with a binstall, I'm sure, even if it's replacing it. Already forgotten what I said. Dioxus CLI, since I have not been able to type that correctly in a while. There we go. I do not have binstall installed. That's odd. I was sure I did. Never mind. Hopefully it won't take too long to build. Just checking my messages. I have some former colleagues having a meetup tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. Hi, if any of them are watching. I don't think they will be. That is going to take a while. Okay. Let's just go quickly look at my notes for this. So we have somewhat refamiliarized ourselves with our issues and PRs. I don't think... I mean, actually, that is a fair point. If I go to... So I've got Dependabot or something running on here. Yeah, Dependabot. And Dependabot's like, hey, you should update this. Obviously, something hasn't worked. Cargo check. Here we go. Well, that's going to be... Yeah, so we are going to have... What? That's not in my code. That's interesting. So that's in Dioxus itself. So I'm probably... I bet it's because I've got Tokyo somewhere. No? Maybe in desktop. That's the most likely place, right? Yeah, I'll bet it's that this is outdated. Maybe. Well, we'll see what happens when it happens. Okay, that's actually gone quite far. While this is going on, I would love to know what, if anything, people would like to see on streams in the future. I obviously would like to get this finished first. And then I've got a few ideas. Like I mentioned earlier, one idea is that I would quite like to make a teleprompt app that doesn't suck. Another thing I'd quite like to work on, and this one's a bit more out there because it's not Rust. I have a home lab that doesn't work. So I have a bunch of servers might be stretching it a little bit. I have a couple of NUCs and Raspberry Pis downstairs that were working quite nicely together in a little Kubernetes cluster. I just recently started trying to rebuild the wider infrastructure. I recently stood up a Tailscale node outside of the cluster so that we can. It makes it easier for me to move data around. But I need to rebuild the cluster itself, and I was wondering whether people would be interested in that as a stream or even a video. There are a lot of really good home lab YouTubers to watch, and it's certainly not my area of expertise in terms of like specifically home lab stuff. I'd sort of say I'm, a jack of all trades and master of none kind of a person, but I can do Kubernetes and I've been able to set up my home lab in the past, but then I don't really have sort of specific, it's not really my area of expertise. But then again, arguably, is this? So that's updated that. if we do from here, oops, where am I going? DX. If I just try this, I think this won't work specifically for that Tokyo problem, but let's have a look and see what happens. I also, again, I mean, it's barely an issue, but this isn't the right way to label these things. This should probably go back to being called desktop, and I think there's a way of configuring what the application is actually called. There's not just changing the package name, which is what I did, which is incorrect. Right, here we go. So server echo, oh, interesting. This isn't in things I'm using, right? Server source, yeah. I could just delete these. I don't use them. Pretty sure? Nothing here? Yeah. I will delete them. I had it in my head that I would eventually make a server-based version of this, so you could just go onto a web page and use it, and maybe that would be another way to sort of like have like monetize it. But big but, I really didn't like that idea for a bunch of reasons. One was the way to monetize it would be a subscription. Everything's a subscription. It really doesn't need to be. I'd rather people just download the app and use it, you know, as something that they own, sort of thing. Oops. Let's try that again. Fill to find manifest member. Oh yeah, that makes sense. So I definitely don't want a subscription on this. That would be a garbage thing to do. I personally think. Oh, I don't need mobile either. Let's get rid of that too. Where are you? Oh, do I? No, let's leave mobile in for now. And there is a reason for this. So that's what I sort of saying there. I was thinking you could have like a single like location to store stuff. So we could have a server that you could log into, store all of your details in it, and then you'd be able to use it anywhere. So if you're at home, you're doing a telephone interview, you can write stuff down on your desktop app. You have to go in for an interview, you get it on your phone, and you can type stuff in there, or you know, get your questions up that you needed to ask and stuff, and maybe deal with later. But I kind of wanted that seamlessness of it. But I also thought, well, everyone has cloud providers of their own for data now, right? So whether it's OneDrive or Google Drive or whatever, maybe I just create some way of storing the data with that. So it might just be like a, you know, click here to log in with your cloud, and then store the data in the cloud and have some sort of back and forth. And that's probably the route I'll go down. So I do want to do a mobile application at some point. That is still somewhat on my mind. It's probably not going to be, sorry, where are we? Build's-alone manifest for workspace member, dependency on server. Shouldn't be. That's odd. Dependency on server. Weird. Oh, I think it's going to be on everything, is it? Desktop. I bet it's from... I don't know. Have I done something very silly here? Don't. No? Right, there's nothing in there. Sorry, I don't know why there was dependency on that. Yeah, so that's probably the way I'll handle it in the future. If I do it in the future, we'll see. We'll see. I think if people do donate money to it in whatever way we decide to go forward on that, and people have an interest in mobile, then I probably will do it. If people just want to use the app loosely, that's fine. But if it's like, you know, if it's going to take me a long time and not make me any money, I might not do it. Right, now that's interesting. That's interesting. So, oh, I know what this is. Yes, I will bet that they have removed deref on event. That's going to take a hot minute to fix. Oh, this is going to be painful. Yeah, this is what I thought might happen. Key must be in the form of a formatted string like key value. That's okay. We can deal with that one first. That's a nice, easy one to fix. I would like to know why this isn't Let's try restarting this. Sorry, I'm still not fully forming my sentences. I don't know why Rust Rover is having difficulty finding things that definitely exist. So I'm going to exit out of presentation mode. That should give me the option to clear the cache. Invalidate caches. Just everything. Invalidate and restart. With luck, it should just pop back up and tell me actual issues, not made up issues that it was telling us before. Maybe, maybe not. Anyway. So we know, okay, we're indexing, we'll see what happens, but we do know that key ID, it doesn't want to be like this, it wants to be like that. So that's this one. That's fine. That's an easy one to fix. So then we are getting into this, like, this is going to be interesting. So modify with expected form data found. This looks like it might be just a simple mistake with me importing the wrong thing. From form data, modify with form data. Symbols, modify with form data. That one then, clearly. So here we go. So this should not be this. And I think what it's going to be, yeah, so here I've got HTML form data. Here I have also got HTML form data. So what are you talking about? Maybe it's not this file, hang on. Source helpers. No, it's not. Wait, where are we? What is it? Hang on. It is complaining here. It's odd. Yay. Oh, it expects an owned version of it, maybe. Interesting. But that's my function. It does not expect an owned version of it. What's going on? Two different versions of create HTML, Dioxus HTML being used from I should have read the rest of the error, shouldn't I? So we do still have one that's using an older version. So I think what we probably need to do is just do, I bet it's like the underscore dash. Interesting. There we go. That's all it is. That's all it is. Not a major issue. Great. Try that again. Push the cart to the top of the hill. Interesting. As value is no longer part of... Okay, it should start at the top. I don't actually know where it started, so... Let's have a look at the expected form data. Modify with form data. I still think this is... Why is this requiring an owned version? That's interesting. Oops, I make this mistake all the time with Zellige, or no, I think maybe WesTerm just like copies the file as soon as you let go. Or no, it is Zellige, it looks like. And I always hit Control-C immediately afterwards, which copies nothing into the buffer, which is very upsetting. I just need to get used to it. Line 15. Whereas value is coming from value clone. Okay, we still definitely have issues with Rust Rover. Don't know what this is why this is being called, but let's where the heck is value even coming from? Oh, I think maybe it's the... Nope, not this. Oh, sorry, yeah, it's coming from the function parameters. So valueless item gives us a value, modify with form data. So this is going to be the value type. And modify with form data is a why? This is not going well. So I'm of the mind Rust Rover's definitely not having a happy time. Like Into is in the Rust prelude and it's clearly struggling with this. And I'm not sure if I can really fix this on stream easily. Anyway, it's not the cause of the problem, but I'm a bit at a loss on this one. So we can work through it. It's just gonna take longer without the benefits of Rust Rover. Let's do it here though. So if I cancelled out here, we can then do the serve here, which will give us our errors at least somewhat in here. That is not going to be helpful like that, is it? Try here. EX. I have to zoom out a little bit, apologies. Let me know if you can't read it in the stream. Method not found. Okay. It seems like all the other errors went away. I don't believe that for a second, but let's just go one error at a time. So method not found in form value. We'll just go look. I think all this did was basically it took the Dioxus form value type and turned it into a string. Let's go see what they have changed it to. We would like the actual documents, which is not going to be this, I don't think. We can probably get there from here. Documentation. Unless this is in... It might be in HTML, of course. Oh, that is not what I meant. That's right. It's going to be this, isn't it? Form val view. Ah, there we go. I know this is not the right type, but it should tell us on here what we're looking for. That's... Huh. So we could turn it into a string using... No, don't want debug, I want display if I'm going to do that. What a odd thing to happen. Like, we know it's going to be a string form value. So worst comes to worst, it looks like it's public. It does not look like it's public. Oh, pub traits has form data implemented for this. I don't think it is it? Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, where do we get form data from? Where was this actual error? Sorry, it's in here, right? So let's go find that file. As value doesn't work, so we're using the form data, we're turning it into values. There might be a better way of doing this. So let's have a look at, like, this was a bit, maybe they've decided that that was a bad idea. Maybe they specifically took offense to what I was doing. So let's look at form data to begin with, because that's our actual form. So that's like a better place to look. Yes. So, oh wait, get the value of the form event, but I want a specific. Oh, that's not good. So this is exactly what I was doing. So that was turning into a string and form value. Okay, let's look at form value again. How do we turn this back into a string? Let's look in here. And it could just be that we are not doing forms the correct way anymore. So we've got form. Ah, so much easier. Okay. So looking at this is a much better way of doing it than what we were doing. So oh, hang on a minute though. This is server side. On submit form event. Login form. Login form. Okay, so this. I'm pretty sure this is a better way of doing it, but with 30 minutes to go, I don't think we can fix all of it. Let's have a quick go. But I definitely want to finish at 10, so UK time. This is, sorry, it's so much better in every way that I literally don't think that we can fix this. Like, we have a lot of forms. I really wish this was working properly. Let's go to views. Let's just start with like the company. Sorry, one of these. Where are we? Company list item. So this has a form in it because we need to be able to create a new. Sorry, not there. Yeah, probably. Component company list. So there should be a form in here. Company search. Create company. Partial company from form data. So we're getting a form data event. I don't think we want that anymore. I think what we want. Can we just pass it? Can we just pass it? Here's our form. Where do the errors go? Past values. So we would need to deal with the errors here. So the question is... Oh, this could be way easier. Sorry, this is such a good change. I'm having hard time expressing my thoughts. So what they've done is they've basically... The way that it used to work is you get this sort of blob of form data and then you deal with it. And they've added a thing that allows you to pass it into a struct that represents the data from your form. And we were kind of doing this in a really sort of dumb way. If we go to... the partial company is basically like the company object with a bunch of options on it. And then we could create a company from that. But what we probably want to do now instead is effectively like structs company form. And then if we look down here, we have a name. I would love to know if they have also made it so that you can create the... No, they haven't. That would be too nice. The inputs from the names of the things. We've got like we know that they've got a username and password here, which is part of their form username and password up here. And so they're taking that data that's returned from this form and passing it into this object, which is exactly what we're trying to do. Except the way that we've done it is that thing that I was saying earlier about it not really being the most accurate way of doing it, I guess. Anywho, we can do that. Then, or do we even need to do that? We might be able to just do partial company from form data. I don't think we need to do that anymore. So it's like let partial company equal... how does this work? Sorry. That gets us the error. So it's going to be... How did I write this? Did I write it sensibly? Yes. It's an expression, so we should be able to use... So my thinking here is this is my own stupid macro. Can I put it in like this? So we would do... Sorry, may not even need to do that. Partial company, partial. I know it's not loading in properly, which is its own problem. I don't think we need this. I think we can just do, what was it? Event.past values. So do we have the event at this point? So we just do event.past. I have some suspicions that I think that might be enough. I think Rust is smart enough to be able to get, even though we're going through a macro here, thing to unwrap, match thing to unwrap. Why am I not? Oh, sorry, it's and return. So yeah, I think that I think this will work. I don't know. I'm flying blind without Rust Rover working. I'll have to fix that off stream. So let's go back over here, rebuild this, I guess. It's still not going to like that, so we just are going to have to delete that because we shouldn't need that function at all anymore. Sorry, that was basically this entire file. What file are we in? Create partial from form data. Oops, no. We will just go through this and we'll delete it. I don't think we need it. Delete. Oops. I have not had enough to drink to this during stream. Right. So having deleted that should cause us a bunch of other problems, which is fine. I don't think we need any of this. I'm hoping we don't need any of this. Let's delete it. It's all in Git. It'll be fine. Rerun this, and this will create all the problems where we basically were loading it in, but I don't think we need to anymore. That said, like I was thinking, this isn't a quick fix. It's going to be me basically going to every single one of these files and fixing it in the file. Role information mod line 30. And so unwrap and report and return, but don't seem to be doing anything with it there. I don't know why I did that. Oh, because it's role.modify with form data. That's okay. Yeah, I'm going to say I cannot do this tonight on stream. It's far too much, and I've only got 24 minutes left. So I'm going to call the stream there. I will hopefully stream again in the near future. I'm probably not going to do it coming Tuesday because I will have just started a new job and have no idea what's going on and probably be exhausted from having to wake up at a normal human time. So we'll see about that. But when I get back to it, I will try and explain what I had to do here in order to upgrade to 0.7. I'm very excited. This looks like a great change. Thank you very much, Chris. I'm very excited about Dioxus 0.7. It really looks like a fantastic step in the right direction. The change to their own renderer should just mean faster and less memory, hopefully. I obviously haven't measured those things, but gut feel. And I'm really excited about just sort of Rust moving towards more GUI stuff, because at the moment it's still, like I was saying earlier, it's still not quite. I don't know if there is an are we GUI yet, but we're not yet with Rust. It's close, but I think with things like Dioxus, Leptos, and a bunch of other stuff, it's getting really, really exciting. And this big update on Dioxus has me really looking forward to sort of working out how to do a bunch of changes. And I'm also hoping it will mean that I can clean up a lot of my really messy code that's in here. This is not my proudest work by any means. Is there an Are We GUI? That's excellent. Are We GUI? Oops, Are We GUI? I'm not going to guess the suffix. It is. Oh, look at that. The seeds are planted. Let's see. Ecosystem. Yeah, there we go. Oh gosh, there is so much stuff in here as well. Oh, I looked at Iced. I had to deal with Iced for an interview. That interview did not go well. Iced has some weird ideas about async. Although to be fair, this was before I learned all the async stuff for the async video, so maybe it was just me being terrible at it. Man, look at all this. This is amazing. Yeah, we're getting there, and I'm very excited. I still think there's really nothing that Rust can't do, and if you're committed to it, then and you don't mind the fact that Dioxus minor updates are going to require you to rewrite a lot of your application, you should absolutely be playing with these things. Maybe not in a professional setting still, but yeah, so close. What was I going to say? Sorry. I will be back with streams soon. I am planning, we'll see how long this lasts, to keep going at a video a week for the foreseeable future. So the next video is up for members and Patreons. If you're a Patreon instead of a member, it's ad-free. This is the one quirkiness, that if you are a member of the channel, you still get ads. If you're on the Patreon, you don't. But I think you also maybe get a circle. I don't know what it is. A circle or something. Sorry, I'm probably done with this. I can go back to the big screen. So I'm planning on going a video a week for a little bit. I've got type state will be out for everyone on Thursday. I'll quickly follow that up with Fluent APIs, which are basically just make sure your methods are chainable, but I talk through some quirks of Rust with that. Then I've got the builder pattern is the draft is done, but I need to convert it into a script, and After that, I'm going to do explain monads without using the word monads, monodic, category, functor, endofunctor, any of those stupid words. Monads are really cool. We're just really bad at explaining how they work. And I think once you take away all that really complicated language, it really sort of helps you see the power of them and how you can use them, like even beyond sort of optional result of the go-to for like these things are monads, but we really don't call them that in Rust because it's just like added complexity. Burritos, is a burrito like a metaphor for monads? It would make sense. I'm going to use the word container rather than monads to explain what they are, because it's basically just a thing you put other things in. So a burrito is I can imagine that being a really good metaphor. Common poor analogy, yeah, I get it. I'm just going to go with container. So yeah, that's what's coming up. If you guys have suggestions of patterns to add in, like I would like to do command and event-based patterns, those haven't been even started on. The other stuff is all at least in some sort of progress at the moment. That's all coming up, and then I'll probably have a little break for Christmas and try to get back to it afterwards. But yeah, I'm quite happy with where the channel is at and where it's going and stuff. So thank you everyone for joining and coming along for the ride. And yeah, I hope I hope you have a good week. And I'll see you when I see you. Thanks everyone, and chat to you later. Bye.